This is the Recycling, Scrap Metal, Commodities, and Economic Report, September 8th, 2025. U.S. weekly raw steel production fell slightly to 1.77 million tons, up 2.5% from last year and up 1.4% year to date. This is on a slowing global economy and good supply. WTI crude oil price fell to $61.97 a barrel. Yesterday, OPEC Plus announced additional production, which will bring lower prices. The Saudis are mad about the near record U.S. production, which is taking their market share. Lower prices brings less U.S. production, and OPEC Plus is known to be the low-cost producer, so they win. U.S. weekly crude oil production fell slightly to 13.423 million barrels per day. If prices fall to about $55 a barrel, U.S. oil companies will cut production. Prices and production will rise if U.S. actions hurt Russian oil sales, which is being talked about. The U.S. weekly crude oil rig count rose slightly to 414, but has been trending down. This was on great productivity per well and cautious drillers due to the relatively low prices. Also on possible U.S.-Russian oil sanctions that we just mentioned. Scrap steel number one HMS composite price remained at $311.67 a gross ton, but was still settling in some markets. This was on a good balance of supply and demand. Hot rolled coil steel price rose to $40.10 a hundredweight, which is $8.02 a ton, on a good supply and the slow U.S. economy. Copper price fell to $4.54 a pound on the lingering effect of U.S. removing some of the copper tariffs, also as good global demand continues. Aluminum price fell to $1.18 a pound, which is $26.06 a metric ton on stable demand, but on supply constraints in Guinea and China. U.S. August Real Clear TIPP Economic Optimism Index fell to 48.7 on fresh pessimism after July's brief positive 50.9. The 6-month economic outlook and feelings about personal finances fell. Confidence in federal economic policies also fell to 47.3, and remember that under 50 is negative. U.S. August new jobs created, which is the non-farm payrolls report. They rose by a slow 22,000, below the forecast of 75,000. Healthcare and social assistance were up, as federal government and manufacturing jobs were down. Also, revisions took June and July down 21,000 from the previous reporting. U.S. August unemployment rate rose to 4.3%, which is still low, but an almost 4-year high. Slowing new entrants into the labor force is keeping the percent not working high. Higher wages increased the labor participation rate by 0.1% from July's 2-year low, and that's good news. U.S. August ISM Manufacturing Production Index fell to 48.8, with under 50 being contraction. High interest rates are slowing the economy. Tariffs and the higher inflation that we're seeing hurt some U.S. manufacturers. U.S. Q2 2025 productivity rose to 3.3%, well above estimates. Historical decades of U.S. productivity keeps the U.S. number one in the world. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 194 points to 45,401, but remained near the all-time record high. The slowing economy and especially slower new jobs brings a high probability the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates, which helps the economy. This is Greg Brown. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.